Why did I
Okay.
get pulled in? Why was the beacon of Gondor lit? Because
So I called for aid from my fellow wizards. The beacon of Gondor was lit, and Fred was able to answer the call. Lawrence is on a different live or was finishing up live, and I didn't want to interrupt him. And we have a Wizards Council later this afternoon anyway. But I'm trying to find the thread. Somebody there it is.
because
There it
I was
is.
promised shit talk, and I demand shit talk.
Oh shit. The person who owns the subscriber chat blocked this person.
Oh.
Which is actually kind of fun because I responded to all their chats. So I still actually have the threads of what I said back to them. Which makes this even more fun. So yesterday, so Fred, why are you here? Because I am sick of these people calling for us to shoot our neighbors. I'm tired of hearing people tell me that the only option we have left in this moment in time is to go into a civil war and start shooting our neighbors.
Because they won't do it.
They won't do it.
That's the thing I hated so much about these fools. Because they're all like, we got to go to war. We got to do this. We got to commit violence. And unless you've signed up to be trained to commit violence, or you're ready to understand the impact of what that statement means, have all the freaking seats, bro.
Yeah. Sit your ass down.
Sit your ass down.
Fucking asses down. I'm a combat vet. I've been to a war zone. I went to Afghanistan in 2014. I spent 6 months there. I didn't spend a ton of time. I didn't do I did the shortest tour that they had because we were towards the end of the war, and my unit rotated out of Afghanistan every year. Every 6 to 8 months at minimum, my unit was going to Afghanistan.
Yep.
We went every time because my unit was crucial to the mission. I won't say what we did because I don't want to talk about some of the stuff that I did in the military because it's not worth it. It doesn't even matter to this conversation.
No.
But I've seen combat. I've not been in a firefight, but I've not directly been in a firefight. I have indirectly from inside of a truck while the guy was on top shooting a Mark 19 or fixing the Mark 19. The doctor of the Special Forces unit was fixing the fucking Mark 19 on top of the truck because it jammed, because that fucking automatic rocket launcher jams all the time. So he's up on the truck telling me, hey, tell me if they're shooting at me so I can get back in real quick and shoot back. And I'm like, okay, yeah, man, you do your thing. You know what war zones do? Hey, Lawrence, do you want to join in? And we just do like,
bring him in.
Yeah. Let's just do a fucking 3-hour Wizards Council today. Let's just fucking do it. Lawrence, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I need you to come in too. And we haven't even gotten into this story yet. But God, am I upset with with this asshole because, oh shit. If Fred's so upset, he fell over.
Oh shit.
I did.
All right. So
I can't stay, bros. I was literally just about to type and be like, oh shit, I'm going to listen to you guys as I clean up my apartment. I got maintenance about to come in here any minute and bang on.
Oh shit. Go do what you need to do, brother.
Momos, what's up?
Meow. Meow. We love it.
All right, guys, I'm going to listen to you, but I'm going to be here listening.
Okay.
All
okay.
right. We're
thanks,
still doing
Lawrence.
our thing later too, right?
Yeah, we are. Still on the calendar.
Sweet.
We got plenty of wizarding to talk about today.
Kick me out.
All right. Got you, brother.
All right.
Gone.
Ciao.
All right. Back to it. So I'm really pissed off because earlier today, or yesterday, I do a talk every Tuesday and Thursday evening with Lisa Joy around Dominionism and Christian nationalism and the shit that's going on, and we dig into it. And I posted, and I like to post those videos through some of the subscriber chats that I'm in as well, just like other creators do, to get the message out, to get other people see things. And so this person comes on and decides to post. This wasn't the first person in the last couple of days that's done some stupid shit, but this person impugned my integrity and told me that I was a big ass hypocrite. And I don't go for that. So
But what was so why were you being hypocritical? What was their reasoning for
So here it is. Their first post was, the time for speaking up peacefully protesting must be over. It isn't working. When in fuck are you going to understand? The English was pretty bad. That's where it cuts off because it doesn't let me do the ... now that that person's blocked. But it was basically saying, and it's the title of this episode, is I'm sick of these people calling for us to shoot our neighbors. And so
I think
called them out.
I honestly think those are Russian trolls or wingers that want to see violence or ugly boys.
I do too. This person, I've seen them post before. I actually think they might even be one of my subscribers, to be totally honest. And I hope they are, because I'll block their ass if I find them in my subscriber base at this point. And my first response was, I've been to a comment zone. We don't want that here in the US. Like, people don't understand what happens to a country when combat breaks out. Like, it won't be isolated.
No.
It won't be gentle. Bombs blow shit up. If you think like random acts of terrorism that go on right now and random shootings that go on right now are bad, just wait till a civil war actually breaks out. Those will be fucking what we wish happened. Like, cities, towns will be leveled, will be gone. You will shoot at your neighbor and fight your fucking neighbor. And that was my point. I was like, and what my point was, the time for words and nonviolent action will never be over.
Yeah.
And no, we're not weak for saying or doing that. We're pragmatic because there's still so much more nonviolent action that can be done and should be taken before we do anything. So I asked, when was the last mass general strike? When was it sustained so long that the economic engine of our country came to a grinding halt? Their answer to that was, well, too bad, Nick. No one wants it except Nazis, of course, but it's coming. It's actually started. Okay. So we devolve into a hot civil war because one or two random acts of terror that are still going on, and we don't need to devolve into a fucking hot civil war when it's not the neighbors that I want to get rid of. I don't want to shoot my fucking neighbors. I don't want to kill my neighbor or their kid. I don't want to do that.
I just tell them this. I always say, you first.
No, well,
it's funny because all these people, they put it on people like us because they're a bunch of fucking keyboard warriors that are too chicken shit. Look, I ran into this mentality when I was in East Tennessee. Back then, it was preppers, right? You get these people who are like, well, I got an AR-15, I got this, and I got 10,000 rounds of ammunition. I'm ready. And I'm like, ready for what? He's like, when it all collapses, and man, blah, blah, I'm ready. It's like, bro, do you know what happens when societies collapse? Do you understand what goes on when that happens? Is like, first, like, what are you going to do? I was like, I got 2 bottles of Jack Daniels. I'm going to drink it all and maybe
whatever happens, fucking happens.
Happens after that. Because here's the thing. I was like, do you understand? And you're going to get it. You're going to get a glimpse of it, thanks to Trump. What happens when the machine starts to break down? When the economy starts to break down, when the food supply chain starts to break down, when all these things start to break down, it's like you're gonna be training those. Like, it's not violence at that point. Because here's the thing: you could prevent all this by just voting for politicians that don't do this shit.
Yeah,
and convincing people to not do it. And so instead of doing the hard work, you want to act like freaking Rambo that you're going to go out and shoot your neighbor. It's like,
it's easy to shoot a gun. It's easy to pull a trigger. It's easy. For those who have been to combat and those who know people, like, I've never killed anyone.
Neither am I.
Full blank. I have never shot someone in combat. So I cannot attest to what it feels like as a person to shoot that trigger and kill someone. I do have family that has because of war.
Mhm.
And I know what that does. And I know what it looks like in a person's psyche. And I see that and the damage it does to a person, whether they're willing to admit it or not. Because once you pull a trigger, it doesn't come back. You can never take that act back. And it becomes easier each time because you learn how to dehumanize. You have to
Well,
separate yourself. And that's the thing that people forget is like, one, this person wants to instigate violence because most likely a troll. I'm not mad at them. I am upset that they decided that my integrity was hypocritical because I said don't go shoot Nazis right now, or I said don't go shoot your neighbors, and they were like, I never said my neighbors, I said Nazis. I was like, who do you think the Nazis are going to be this time? They are going to be your neighbor. Like,
dude,
that's like, shut the fuck up, guy. Like,
but
or gal, like,
that's
fuck
I,
off.
this,
That's my fucking neighbor. I'm not going to shoot them.
but this is part of it, man. Like you're gonna
It's
have
easy to do that, but
well,
not to
no,
go and make
this is
friends.
part of being online, and you're gonna have these unhinged people
Hmm.
come after you. Like I posted a note that I had to take down because like it was basically me being like, "Hey, I asked out a woman at a coffee shop. I felt good about that because I haven't done that in a long time." And the thing is, overwhelmed. I didn't expect it to get the attention that it did, right?
Yeah.
And got a lot of attention. And it ended up, and most of the responses were overwhelmingly positive. But then there were other ones that were like, you know, why do you think she rejected you? You know, because I used the word rejection. That
Hmm.
I heard a no was rejection. So I got that. Like I got a bunch of those. Then I got people like restacking it saying I was just as bad as a sexual harasser in work because I asked a woman out at a coffee shop. And then I got another guy saying that I was a fake feminist, even though I've never called myself a feminist, that
Yeah.
I was a wolf in sheep's clothing and he would teach his daughters to, you know, stay away from men like me because I was a secret predator. Right. And I actually went after him. I said,
Yeah.
hey, because for everybody that's like here's the actual thread where he and I like went back and here's the original post. You go ahead and look at it for yourself to see it. And one person said, yeah, he's just trying to make you feel like, blah blah blah. He's like, I'm gonna go ahead and unsub from him. So I got a little bit of victory from that. But
Nice.
like, man, but I'm glad you're talking about this because one of the things I'm seeing from a lot of, and I'm glad you're bringing this up, dude. One of the things I'm seeing all over social media is, either it's the doomers who are like, there's nothing we can do. We're all going down the tubes.
Hmm.
Why are you even talking about this? Oh my God. Or it's the ones, man, we got to go shoot them. We got to go start shooting our neighbors and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, you know, you don't know, like, first of all, I know you're either a troll, you're a Russian troll, or you're just some unhinged asshole who will
Hmm.
absolutely not do that.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's the
you're
thing.
the kind of people that I hate who's like, we gotta invade Iran. It's like, okay, all right there, Bubba. You gonna pick up a rifle and you're gonna join up and you're gonna
Hmm.
go? Hmm?
Nope.
Are
The
you are
fuck
you
you
gonna
ain't.
you gonna demand the politicians fully fund the VA from all these veterans? They're gonna come home fucked up physically and mentally, or are you gonna just be like, well, they cut the VA, we gotta pay fucking billionaires. If not, get out of my face, bro.
Yeah.
Get
Are
out of
you
my
going to pay
face.
for those of us who did fight in the war on terror post 9/11,
For a
or those who
generation.
fought in
A
Desert Storm?
generation.
Yeah.
Literally.
20 fucking years.
A generation.
There were literal units in Afghanistan and Iraq where there was the father and the son handing off fucking deployments together. Like they were going back to back. Generation, because that dad joined and then his son was finally old enough to join
Join.
in the same fucking war.
That
Same war.
Same war. There were
Same war.
that father
Father and
signed
son.
up in the surge after 9/11
Yeah,
and freaking retired, like in the same war.
yeah,
You know,
and we have people in this country who never signed up, never even thought to, are, like you said, are those people that always go around and say, oh, well, I would have signed up. Or it's the asshole, I hope they're in this chat right now, who's going around named Jen Austin Nichols, claiming to be a prior general of Fort Bragg. You can go fuck your stolen valor up your ass all the way, because there ain't no General Austin Nichols out of Fort Bragg. I looked it up. I ain't that stupid. I verify when people say
and
stupid shit.
generals normally don't talk. I mean, well, no,
And
they're not.
generals normally don't come on to Substack and have 3 followers and their profile say one nation under God, and that's it. And no subs, no
No
posts,
posts.
and they don't typically go Jen Austin Nichols. They don't out themselves like that. If they're going to do it, it's going to be retired general, because ain't no general coming on claiming Jen unless your name is General Michael Flynn. And he is the biggest piece of shit
Yep.
out there
Traitorous.
that you can
Him and his brother.
traitorous.
Him and his brother, both.
Yeah, yeah. And Michael Flynn needs to be brought back into, remanded back into service,
Mhm.
stripped of his rank, and sent to prison.
Yep. We'll give him
sent to
a seat.
Leavenworth.
We'll give him a seat. We'll give him a suite at Leavenworth. We'll give him
Yeah.
a double wide cell. You know,
Yeah,
for
you
his
can
rent.
have your own private cell at Leavenworth, asshole.
Yeah.
Because you're a traitorous piece of shit. Your name will live on with Benedict Arnold.
Yep. Both Flynn brothers. Put them both in there.
Both Flynn.
Put them side
Both
by
Flynn.
side. So they
One
can
is
talk to each
still
other.
in the fucking service and works at the
One
Pentagon.
was in charge of the response in Jan 6th.
Yeah, one organized Jan 6th. The other was in charge of the response to not bring any National Guard troops. So why haven't they why haven't they done anything?
Jerry,
because they're not going to, because the military at this point doesn't need to. They're in the point where Flynn, who's still in, as much as that rhymes, isn't as much of a threat, because they're on the same path together. They want the same things. They're both Christian nationalists, fundamentalists,
yep.
who are trying to destroy the country and turn the military into a crusader group.
Yep.
But anyway, on that point, sweet.
It's for the same reason the Supreme Court.
I'm gonna pull your ass in.
It's for the same reason that the Supreme Court gave dipshit in the White House
immunity. Yeah. And all it is fucking horseshit. And it's fucking garbage. That's what's going on. And I'm sick and fucking tired of having people say it's time to shoot other Americans.
Then go do it.
Guess what? Yeah, go fucking do it.
Go do it.
You be the one that starts a civil fucking war. Go fucking do that, because everyone in this country is going to hate you for the rest of your life. Go do it. Go try it. And then when the U.S. military comes knocking on your door, or even better, ICE comes knocking on your door because, they don't have rules. But guess what? U.S. military comes knocking on your door. Who's going to fucking protect you then? They got drones. They got shit you don't even know or want to know. The military is good at what they do. The thing is with the military is it's controlled chaos, and they're pretty precise at.
No, man, it's a bunch of
But it's just a bunch of shit.
It's a bunch of keyboard warriors. It's like you see it all the time. It's like there was the guy that got out of his truck. I think this was in Florida on an overpass, and he went ahead and ripped up the signs of these ladies that were protesting. Right? Yeah, that were protesting. Or fucking jackass Bubba, whose wife works at Dollar General, and because he lives in a food desert and eats freaking fast food with his freaking spindly legs and his freaking natty light beer gut hanging with his tree bark. He got upset like that there were some protesters on the corner. So he freaking pulls out his little, AR-15 and comes waddling up. It's like, bro, don't make me throat punch you, and then you can't even, you're sitting there puking, and I just disassemble your AR-15 right in front
for
of you.
you. Yeah, for you.
Like,
And
get out
take
of
your fucking take your firing pin and walk away. Because you
I'll
ain't doing
punch you in the-
shit without the
I'll
fucking
punch you in the
firing pin.
throat. You'll double over. I'll take it. Take your firing pin. And there you go. I'll hand your rifle back to you. It's like, yeah, try to shoot me now, there, jackass. As you
Yeah.
puking on the sidewalk, like
Yeah.
get out my face, bro.
Yeah.
It's like,
No.
and
These people just fucking piss me off because you come on and you're not willing. The thing is, if you're willing to show your face, if you're willing to start your own show, show your face and talk and espouse your ideas publicly,
oh yeah,
I'll invite you on. Whoever you were that got blocked, I'll invite you on. If you're willing to first go on your own Substack, show your fucking face and say that shit in public and say, let's go kill other Americans.
it's a paid
You
troll.
say that,
It's a
you
Russian
say
troll.
that, and then I'll come on your show and we'll have a discussion as to why you are also a terrorist.
This is my rule. If you do not have the guts to put your own face and your own name on your Substack, I don't need to respond to you. If you come at me, if you don't have the guts, if you don't even have any posts, if you don't have any articles, you're beneath me.
Yep.
If you're going to come at me and you don't have any posts, you don't have any articles, you just shared a bunch of memes and restacked. And I'm not saying everybody needs to write. There's a lot of people that support me and support us that don't write.
Never write.
Yeah. That's fine. And it's like, hey, comment, love it, blah, blah, blah. But if you come at me
interact like a real person with us.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But if you come at me like, ho, dumb lib cuckold, it's like, oh yeah? Like, go ahead and put your arguments down there, Skippy.
Yeah.
Let's do the dialogue. Oh, wait, you can't? Because you're not articulate? Because you break down and cry? Because some woman has a job that makes more money than you?
Or your Substack articles that you do post are all fucking written by AI, General Austin Nichols, and your stupid bullshit. Well, you don't even have any posts. You just fucking follow and like.
They usually never have posts.
Never have any posts. And then they claim to be stuff. It's the problem. Like, what I'm really mad about in all of this is people are taking they're taking words and going, hey, this veteran said not to do it, so I'm going to fucking ignore them and call them a pussy sorry, I don't like calling people pussies because it's not true, but it's like, okay, call me a pussy. A pussy fucking pushes out a baby and gets a pounding. Like, I'd rather be that than a testicle.
He's a punk.
They're a testicle. They're a punk who didn't sign up, who didn't swear an oath to the Constitution or do any of the things to be a veteran, to demand the title of veteran. Like, I don't demand the title ever of veteran, but these people throw it around like they're one. I use it now because the only way these people shut up is if you're like, hey, I'm a real fucking veteran. Get your ass out of my face.
I remember one dude came at me and he actually had his little profile pic and it was him with he had the backwards freaking trucker hat and the glasses and he's on the firing line and he's got the mask over his face. And I was like, bro, you're such a poser, dude.
No eye pro?
No eye pro. He's like, he was the Oakleys. I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, but I said, stop playing Call of Duty and pretend cosplaying like you're an operator.
Dude, did you ever get those people?
Stop, dude.
Did you ever get those people who would? So our unit had the guys in it that would wear the Oakleys and stuff, and they always had the Oakley boots too. And you're like, bro,
Eagle jizz. Jacob said it's
Eagle jizz. It's Eagle jizz. It's internal Army Eagle jizz.
That is what that is. Eagle jizz. Yeah. Eagle jizz is it's this poser kind of stuff, right?
It is stolen valor.
Back then, they didn't have the Oakley boots yet, but they had the high tech boots. You know, they'd wear the high techs, and it's just okay, or it was they were just all about it. They'd have Yeah, I got the blah 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 blah. Where it's like
Yeah.
they had the
They
extra,
come
they
in
had
with
the extra sight, they had the extra sight like on their
they had the
M16.
side sight on the M16. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be fucking badass.
yeah,
We had the
yeah. Well, because
M4s.
if we're doing mount, mobile operational urban terrain, like which they called
Mhm.
urban combat back then. It's like, well, if we're taking doors broke, and I'm gonna like blah blah blah. It's like,
Right.
okay,
I had a foregrip on mine because there
no,
was more with bipod on it that could come out. Because I found it and it was free and it came off of another weapon that I found in my armory when I was deployed. And I often had to sit in one place for a really long time. So it was really convenient to have a bipod on my weapon that I could just put it down and it wasn't in the fucking dirt. And then I could just lay down and prone and just wait. Like, but I wasn't trying to be all operator as fuck. Like you saw those guys. They carried like the extra patches that weren't real patches. They like put on like the fake patches occasionally that like or the banners that went underneath or over instead of like airborne, it would be like it would be your name is perfect for it is Pogue, person other than Grunt. Um and so I was not a grunt, but I worked with them. But it's the fake operators. It's the people who are the Call of Duty folks. It's the assholes who stand around and go, I'm going to shoot my fucking neighbor or I'm going to go kill me some Nazis.
it's
Okay,
the
bro.
same
Have
ones
you
that think Trump is an
ever,
alpha male. It's the
yeah,
same
or it's the
ones.
same ones who think that like the Tate brothers are fucking good people or
Or
like
they're
any,
masculine. They're
yeah, or they're
masculine men.
masculine. Like,
You know,
no.
and here's where this stuff always leads you, right?
Hmm.
This is where this crap always leads you down. I remember watching a video where they were like, this guy was because it always goes to this extremism. You know what I mean? And you know, it is this like you see this with any kind of extremist groups. It always gets, da 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 da. You know.
Hmm.
And there was a guy who had a video, right? What's up, dude? You know,
What's up?
What's up, Jake?
and
Welcome to the room.
we're talking about keyboard warriors.
Oh
One
no,
of them.
I have talking points, but if you want to finish your point,
No, yeah. So I'll do this point. And I'll toss it to you. So like, there was a video on a guy, and he was saying, "This is how if you're is like first of all, if you're using a carry on, with wheels in the airport, you got to carry it straight up. You can't let your arm drag behind because that's feminine. And if it drops, you have to go over to it, and you got to squat down at your knees, and your back needs to be straight because you want to get in a squat. Because if you bend down at the waist, that's gay, and that's not alpha." And I'm like, what a
What?
horrible existence to live. It's
fellas,
like
let's
this,
check
it's
it.
like that no homo stuff where it's like, you can't eat a hot dog, you can't eat a banana, you can't say this, you
That's
can't say that. It's just,
that's what I want to
I
look at my
can't say
other.
reach around without people going no homo.
That's what I
man.
want. That's what I want to look at my fellow coaches and go, fellas, let's check. Is a hip hinge movement gay? Because that's a fucking deadlift. So
what a horrible
And
life.
that's the thing.
What
They
a,
couldn't even I bet you they couldn't even deadlift. I bet
That
you
well,
was
this
even,
that.
it's
asshole.
like, what a horrible life, because it's like your entire existence is defined by, I'm more alpha than this, I'm more alpha than that. It's like,
Meanwhile, I'm over there intentionally sticking my ass out to make sure people get a good view. So
Yeah, like we got Jacob over
these are
here
the quotes that you
posing like
want.
just going at it while we're on
Go,
show. Like
here's the
I hope he
deadlift
does.
right
See, look at
here.
that. That
There
is
we
form
go.
right there. That is form and consistency. Do you see how
don't
this man
bounce,
had that
hey,
back
don't bounce a
bent
quarter,
mess? This
don't
man
bounce a
had his
quarter off it.
ass out.
If you
Don't,
want America's ass, you have to get a little bit gay, guys.
You
don't
have to
bounce a
bend
quarter.
at the hip.
If you bounce a quarter off that thing, you'll never see that damn quarter again.
It'll
Go
extinct
zoom across the room, man.
Okay, so I've got talking
That
points.
is an ass that you can snort coke off of.
I've got talking points. First off, they did not have
not from experience. I'm just saying, like strippers' asses, like you see them, like they go out there, like, yeah. Jacob's got that shit like a booty ball, like coming out.
I was a Marine infantryman. I don't know anything about going to strip clubs or, so all I did was stay in the barracks. All I did was
No?
stay in the
Did
barracks.
you guys even
And
drink in the Marines?
No, we don't. I just stayed in the barracks and read my Bible and cleaned my weapon. You know,
All like
hung
a
out
good
with-
Marine does.
Yep.
I hung out with nothing but Marines because every Army intelligence soldier wanted to stay in the barracks and play video games and drink, and so I
What?
went.
No, we didn't.
Yes,
Shut up.
Yeah, you
Do
did.
not
Yeah, you
give
did.
our
there
secrets
were
Yeah,
away.
exceptions. There
Were exceptions. I moved out of my barracks room. Hidden.
Yeah.
I ghosted.
Well, you were one of the ones that I think I came to work out with on a regular. Anyway,
Yeah,
I remember
you and I
showing
would
up
live together.
Yeah, well, you and I would live together, but I also showed up to a Marine PT formation one time, and we put on weight vests, and they were like, "We're going to run around base." Little did they know that they literally meant around the entire base, and anytime we passed a tree, we had to swing from it. So, yeah. So, talking points. First off, they didn't have Oakley boots when you were in. Like, was
Fred's
this
old.
Was this
I'm an old man. I'm an old
was
man.
this 1912 or what's going on? So
It was
Fred was World War III. Early
It was
World
back.
War
It was
III.
back in. It was back in the late 20th century, in the 1999,
Now,
95.
were you Peril? Was it a foregrip or a foreskin? Like, I'm not 100% certain. So,
No, I had the foreskin removed, so I never had to worry about the foreskin.
so is that what you wrapped around the gun, or
No, I
was all
wrapped it
natural,
under the
baby.
gun. It was all natural. It was all for the underhandle. It was
No.
always held like this or
You know.
this. You gotta like square. You always have to have the thumb around the tip too, like
just a little bit?
holding the side, because that's also where your red
Old
light
school.
comes on. So
Old
you
school,
can make
man.
it. You can make it shoot that light
It's
out
like
at
old
people too. Because nothing is better than pointing your gun and shooting a light out at somebody in the middle of the night and putting a red dot on them.
No, you want to
with
keep
nods on and everybody looking down and scattering. Because
So
that's what
you
people
want
do.
to you want to keep the foreskin, because if you're doing a night movement and you're heading north to the objective, the slit with the beam, the foreskin is like a ghillie suit, right? It's camouflage. You just kind of put it against your leg, and it's just like, what's that? And it's like,
See, I have no option.
So when you're trying
to
to
go
find
back in time.
So when you're trying to find the sweet spot on the map, you just
Right.
have to make sure. There we go. Okay.
Make sure
we've
to fill
gone
up,
on.
go north.
Jake, you've
That's
missed
it.
this conversation. Yeah, it's go from you hit the saddle and
Yeah,
you go
I always
north.
say, like, it's how you find is, like, make sure the feet are in the upright position, and then
You
just
lock
head north.
yourself in around the shoulders.
Head
and
north.
Rick, sorry. No. This isn't what we're actually talking about.
No, yeah.
I'm really mad, and Jake's coming in, and Fred's coming in, and I want to let Jake go on this too, but I'm really mad because
Yeah,
we said, shoot our neighbor.
the problem is you get three veterans in here, you segue into veteran talk, and things get raucous.
Real
And that's how it happens.
And that's what I was about to segue back to, is what y'all were talking about was we called them gear buddies when we were in, the ones that were always like, I'm going to have my Reebok and my Punisher skull and my Oakley.
Oh my God.
And what is your job, supply clerk? Not shitting on that. I did that for a while I was in, but you're not going to patrol or anywhere right now.
No.
And you were geared to the teeth as though Frank Castle personally summoned you, which we know he would not do. The other thing I was going to say is I have completely co-signed. You were talking about the lady who got on and talked about being a proud bunny or whatever the fuck she wanted to call it.
Proud girl.
Oh, you
didn't hear this yesterday?
That's automatically disqualifying right there, bro.
Yeah, we talked about a proud girl. They came at me and was like, white nationalism is leftist Russian propaganda. You're a commie and a fascist. I was like, oh my God, how am I both?
Your organization is literally it's your organization, the Proud Boys, literally take their cues from fascism.
Yes.
It's the brown shirts. It's the freaking brown shirts.
And like you were talking about, like, for all of these people that have proud in their fucking name, and the ones who are like, yeah, we're bringing America back, half of them I see with anon accounts on Facebook. Like, they'll post anonymously, and I'm like, if you're so proud and you're standing on your scruples, then why the fuck can't you sign your name to it? Because I was raised that if you're going to do something, you sign your name to it. And
be proud of it.
Even if you're wrong, like you said, you don't have to have a full-on blog or a podcast or anything else like that, but at least sign your name and profile picture to it. The number of times on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, thankfully not as much on Threads these days, but on these others where somebody's commented some dumb shit, and I go to look and either no profile picture or it's the picture of their car or something like that, and with a username that's like, Proud Boy X42, I suck Trump's anyway. So, and and no identifying information. They've posted nothing, no videos.
Nope.
Sometimes they don't even have reposts of videos.
Nope.
But you can't sign your name to shit, but you can fucking come on and criticize me. I've made entire videos where I'm like, I will listen to just about anybody who will sign their name and picture to it. Like we
Yep.
talked about yesterday, if that proud girl would agree to come on a podcast, I'll personally interview her. But she's not going to if that is a she. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
they profiled as a she, but
that don't mean nothing.
that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Predators do that all the time online. Like the people who come at your kids on Xbox and PlayStation often claim that they're girls, but they're 40-year-old men or 60-year-old men trying to get your little kids to come meet them in some fucking place. That's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, and it ain't the libs wearing masks at events, and if they are, it's
Nope.
because of COVID or because they'll wear just a half mask in case their employer sees them, and that's literally just it. And that's
Yeah.
I understand protecting, not losing your job, whatever. But like the only times I see any of the liberals wear masks is out of absolute necessity. But you get these ICE blowhard Call of Duty cosplaying nut jobs that are following Christy Noam's example with full fucking tack masks and their Oakleys that cover half their face and their
Talk about
wannabe
fucking
Bucky Winter Soldier mask on the lower half. So
no. Talk about that. They put on the fucking gator and they do the fucking foreskin. They look like their penises with fucking foreskin pulled up still because
Yeah.
they're wearing their balaclavas and their gaiters all the way up over their heads because they are afraid to show their damn faces.
does that mean we
Yep.
won't see it? Does that mean we won't see them in the winter because
Yeah, they
penises-
shrink in the winter.
The shrinkage occurs. So
I mean, ice
I
can't
was in
really
a
move.
pool.
that or they're gonna
Ice
go
can't move through
turtle.
snow, so they're stuck. Let's make some fucking snowmen out of them. I want to do the Calvin Hobbes snowman attack on ice and just have like 100 of them, 100 snowmen outside with like fake ice uniforms on in like various positions.
Well, with the signing bonus that they give ICE agents now, it's something like so the salary is like $100,000 a year with a signing bonus of $60,000. And so what I've told everyone is like, what we could do? We could all just go apply and get the job and do a terrible job at it and bomb the whole thing while raking in the government's money. So
yeah, I was thinking about it because they
I've
do
honestly
freaking
thought about,
student
like-
loan debt now too.
Because they're not gonna do a background check. I thought about like signing up and then just shamming until they fire us. You know what I mean?
Find a
if
way to
the-
be a new specialist in
sham.
ice and just
If the
sham shield the
90s
fuck out of it.
if the star of 90s Superman and 8 The Dog Saved Christmas movies can be in ICE, then I'm pretty sure just about anybody else could.
But
Yeah.
knowing how it is, it's probably like it's based on it's like because it's all a scam. It's probably like, well, okay, so this is the 100,000 I'm going to make, right? They're like,
Half of it's in
it's-
crypto.
but no, it's going to be like, well, that's if you get it's like Amway. Well, that's if you get this, and this, and you get this. And you arrest so many brown people. That's the top end of what you could earn if you arrest 30 brown people a month. It's like,
It's a quota you gotta meet, Billy Joe. You gotta
Yeah.
get them all. And
Well,
it's all in crypto. Like, I bet you half their salaries are, I bet you part of the
They're gonna
signing
pay 'em in
is you
Trump
get the
coin.
choice of putting it into either like the Trump coin or crypto or one of those new Trump accounts for your kids.
oh no,
Like,
no,
that
no.
shit's
It's
never gonna
not
go
not
to
the
you.
choice. It's what we came up with. You were voluntold to put
Yeah.
it in Trump coin.
I still
Yeah.
use that. That's one of those expressions I use every day that I bet will turn their head and be like, "You were Army, weren't you?" Because I said I was tracking the other day, and somebody turned their head and went Army, and I went, "Yep," and just kept moving. So
at work, I made thinking on that. At work, I have made somebody make me 2 Mr. Rogers emojis so that I could put them next to each other on responses and do Roger Roger.
Yes. I've done the Roger. Also, good to hook from Airborne. So yeah, okay, we're good to hook.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And people are like, what the fuck?
Aviation, man. We use 24-hour standard, and so like good copy and copy was like you just use it in conversation. I remember
Yeah.
being on a date with a woman who wasn't, obla. She wasn't in aviation, and she's
Yeah.
like, she said something in a conversation. I was like, oh yeah, good copy.
Oh, okay.
Like at a date on dinner, and she's like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Well, that's also like
Sorry.
I say heard all the time because obviously the Air Force got fancy and said HUA stood for heard, understood, and acknowledged. But also then transitioned to restaurant work where they say heard back in the kitchen. So people will say heard and be like, hear me say heard and be like, you're either restaurant or military. And I was like, both. So somebody said in the comments that ICE limited themselves to one state of water. I've got an idea. Now the counter to ICE is fog. Fuck old government. And we just absolutely and we surround
Yes.
you. We are
Lawrence,
like
get
mist
on
on
it.
the wind. We are surrounding you everywhere. Where you find ice, you find fog.
Yes, Lawrence, can you get on that? I see you in the chat. That's a good Oh, you know what we should do for a coffee mug if we could is get one of those like multi-changing color ones where on the outside it says fuck ice, and then when it gets hot, it's or like ice melts in heat, and then when it gets hot, it has catch you in the fog.
Oh, I love that. Merch ideas
Merch.
right
We
there.
gotta get some
So
merch ideas. I'm not good at slogans off the fly on that one. That was good. I like that. I
oh,
like that. Or the
great.
fascist old guys.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Somebody in the chat though asked us a good question, and I want to get to it because it's three
Yeah.
vets on an angry rant, and heard understood. See,
Acknowledged.
I hate the word who. I still use FUBAR a lot. I think FUBAR is
Oh, I
one of my
use
favorite
FUBAR all the
terms.
time.
FUBAR, for those who
Most
don't
all of
know,
the
is fucked up beyond all recognition. And that's pretty much the state of living that we exist in at times is just FUBAR. It's
The Marine
it's
Corps is
the-
just a lot of grunts, right? It's just, I mean, it's like it's visceral. You
Do you
know,
guys know English in the Marine Corps, or do they
I
like
want-
teach you gruntal languages to
I one
like
time
communicate?
it just depends on like what it is. You know,
I one time
It's-
communicated with the Marine for an entire hour and nothing but a series of grunts. Somehow we understood each other. So
You know, it's like you could go, "Ah," and it's like you just do that, right? Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so we have a good question though from the chat. Is what's your collective advice to veterans who believe Trump is God's gift to America and staunch supporter of the military?
Stop being a fucking idiot.
Easiest message.
First off, this country is not religious, and until recently we didn't even have an official religion, so we're not deistic, even as they tried to claim that the forefathers were. So God has nothing to do with our country. We are a country that is multi-religious and multicultural. Second off, his contribution to the military, he wasn't even able to get in because of bone spurs, and I wouldn't hold that against somebody normally, but when you're the fuckface that he is, I absolutely fucking will, because nothing's off.
And when you do it like
limit.
4 times.
Well, and he also has gone on record insulting the military multiple times. Other than trying to limit veteran VA benefits, he also came out and said that who was it that got that civilian Medal of Honor or whatever? And he's like, arguably, it's more important than an actual Medal of Honor because all these meatheads do is shoot at people. I will go find the fucking quote, but like, you think he?
No, yeah.
No, it was even worse.
insulted
It
at every
wasn't that
turn.
we shoot at people. It was that more often than not, when you get the Medal of Honor, you're really disfigured. He was upset because they don't look good on camera. Because
He said
Medal
his
of Honor
Vietnam
recipients.
He said his Vietnam was dodging STDs. That's what he said.
He
said that too.
And that Medal of Honor recipients are disfigured, so he doesn't want to be on stage with them because they're ugly. These people fucking sacrifice their bodies and more often than not their lives to defend other people, to bring home other Americans. People jump on fucking grenades and sacrifice themselves or come out severely disfigured. Get fucked, lady. Like, I'm going to do it's Luke or it's Luke's last brain cell is the get fucked segment for a second. Is get fucked, Donald Trump, and your stupid ass Presidential Medal of Freedom, comparing it to the Medal of Honor. Like, Tiny Tank Trump can go suck a dick and fuck himself. Suck a dick. I said that out of just frustration. That is not a slight against my gay friends, or my non-binary friends, or my female friends. I hope he sucks his own dick because he breaks his fucking back and lands on it. But he would have a hard time finding it because he's too fucking fat and it doesn't exist. So he ain't going to find it. He's going to fall into his giant blowhard asshole and just get sucked into the abyss that is that orange prick. So I hope he does suck a fuck.
Nice. I don't know if he was at Arlington or he was at Normandy.
It was
John Kelly.
Normandy.
Yeah, John Kelly's with him. John Kelly, who lost his son, I think he was in Afghanistan. It was in Iraq or Afghanistan. He was in the global war on terror. And he's calling the people, he doesn't get it, the people who've died on hallowed ground, suckers and losers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, there was that. And there's the other thing is that obviously I have issues with, well, pretty much every president, but definitely every president in recent history. But had Obama gotten up there and presented that, it would have been presented as such, in my belief. It would have been, hey, here's this civilian Medal of Honor. And, you know, serving your country in combat is not the only way you can contribute to your country. So, hey, here's one way that, like, somebody provided a service that we think is super above and beyond. There would not have been a comparison because there's no need for a comparison. Yeah,
No.
we all
Yes.
as vets absolutely value both the being willing to take a bullet and deliver a bullet, but we also understand there's other ways to do it in the same way that I think muscles are valuable. I like to lift heavy shit. There's other forms of fitness, and fitness itself is not the whole spectrum of how you can contribute to yourself and your community. But had any other president, like even the worst of the presidents, gotten up there and done that, there would not have been a comparison in the first place, let alone going on to insult the demographic of the other type of contribution.
So
We
to really get
serve
down though to the answer of the heart of the question, that is, why do these veterans still serve America, or why do these veterans still believe in Trump? It's because they're lied to. Is because they've been brainwashed and because they found a community that accepted them. A lot of these folks came out of the military staunchly hurt, and they needed somebody in a community to go to, and men's clubs on the right exist. The left did not make space for men who were coming back from war. We didn't. We did not. We have told most veterans that if you're a veteran, you're a Republican, like by default. I get called a Republican every time I say that I'm a veteran. I'm not a fucking Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an American first, but I vote Democratic. And the Democratic Party did not offer space for men. And I'm not saying this as there's a male loneliness epidemic. No, those men are just fucking assholes and incels, and they need to take care of themselves. Those men were given a mission. Like Stuart Rhodes, as shitty and stupid as he is, he gave people a mission.
Yep.
And he aligned them under a goal and said, you fit in here. We want you. We appreciate you. These men look like you and act like you, and they have the same desires, and they want to fit into, and they're hurting, and you can help America by joining us.
See, that's where I was going to go with this, is obviously, you know me from my rants on social media and in person. And I used to be more conservative leaning back around the time that we first knew each other. And I don't know if you remember Bond or not, Dalton Bond, but he and I talk about that. We used to have a lot more ranty conversations conservatively, and we've both flipped wildly blue since then, which means there is hope. It can happen.
It typically does too.
It typically does too, especially with vets. But I can lean negative on this, but I'm going to choose to provide one of my positive points here and assume that not everybody's an awful, horrible piece of shit, and say that I think the reason that they do cling to him is because, let's assume, as I've seen with most people in person, not everybody, most people want change. Most people want to affect change, want to see something positive done. So like us, they want something positive, change, invigorating done to be able to basically reacquire that quality of life and get back to that place that never really existed but maybe existed in our heads, some type of homeostasis. If it didn't exist, we want to make it exist. The problem is without continued, and I'm not even talking about college education, but just further education of any type. So if you get the people who want change, but either have an education or know where to ask the questions and find it, you get the people like who would be on this podcast or these comments or on Substack or any place else who are trying to make change, but are trying to make it intellectually and targeted. If you don't, then you get a lot of people who are riled up and want change, but all they've been taught their entire lives is what their parents and their pastor taught them, and they didn't make it past high school. And I'm not saying, even like I said, I'm not even talking college. Go to trade school, but at least pick up Wikipedia every once in a while. Go read a book. And the reason that doesn't happen is what we talked about yesterday, which is if you tell kids that they're really fucking dumb the entire time that they're in the standardized education system because they can't pass this standardized test and fit in the box that you want to, what you've done is rile people up for their entire fucking life, tell them they're stupid, and keep them stupid. I'm not saying that they're actually stupid, but keep them blissfully ignorant. So now you've got riled up, like potentially more ignorant people. I'm trying not to call them ignorant, and who may or may not be out of shape. And the only one of those things that they can change, because we keep them broke, is they can't go on to pursue an education because they can't afford it. So the only thing that they can change is, let me go join a community of other people who I think are making a change. And oh, by the way, that will allow me to fix the fitness part of it while I'm doing it. And that's why you get military. But that is why the core of the people who are in the military these days do cling to that, is they see somebody promising them a change. They don't know otherwise. They don't know how to ask otherwise. And it at least satisfies one of the ways that they can improve themselves.
Well, it's
And-
also that there's
and-
Monologue. Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
no. It's so here's the hard truth, right? For folks listening, because you get this, and this is to Nick's point, and then I'll jump off. I'll launch off of Jacob's point because he made a good point too. This notion that, well, we don't need more white males in this space. You actually do. You need more white males, and here's what I'm gonna tell you why. You could have a woman saying the same thing and those guys, they're not gonna listen to her.
No.
Because they're not ready to hear it from her, right? It could be truth. We do not exist in a world where it's like you lay the truth out. And I heard this from people when I was organizing. If we just tell them the truth, then there you go. No, that's not how it works. People have to be ready to hear it. Because just like you move in anything, whether it's fitness, like Jacob's talking about, you don't just suddenly walk in the gym and go, man, throw 500 pounds up there, bro, let's go. Like, it doesn't happen. You do it a little bit at a time. You walk one step at a time. You move away from programming and psychological conditioning you've had, all this bias, one step at a time.
Incrementalism.
That is the hard work. That's why, as we started this discussion, well, let's just shoot them. No, that's the easy answer. The hard answer is you got to move them over one step at a time. You got to say, like, hey, man, like, this is actually hurting you. This is and the hard part is you have an entire media ecosystem that is designed to keep them in that ignorance. But eventually
Yeah.
reality comes calling, right? And so you need guys like us who are combat veterans, who are fitness people, I've worked in heavily male industries, that can say to them, no, brother, this is wrong. That black woman over there that's talking about her lived experience, that trans person, that gay person, those people, they're closer to you than that billionaire asshole. And here's why.
Yep.
That's our job. That's what we're here to do, is to serve as the conduit to get them to open their experience.
It's as easy as what Melissa Corrigan said the other day when we had her on for Vet Talk, was like, she had a chief who all he did was, well, what'd you say to her? And he treated her like a person. He treated her like, the thing is, we're not coming in here to take up space for other people. I'm not going to talk about Black issues because I'm not Black and I don't understand them as much, and they're not my lived experience. I will talk about how white issues are oppressing other people, and I can come at it from my experiences and veteran issues, and I can talk from the tech field. I can talk about the trucking industry. I can talk about a lot of stuff. Like, I can talk about the Army because I've been in them. Those are my lived experiences. I'm not going to talk about others. So we have to come into this space, not because I want to take space away from anybody else. In fact, if you watch our shows, if you come onto this network, and that's why so many of you are here listening in right now, like, we got 138 in the audience right now, which is super awesome. You guys y'all are here right now because you know that we promote and we work together with other voices. Like, Ellie Leonard is coming on tomorrow for a huge chunk of time on the Banner and Backbone 24-hour live stream launch. Plug in Banner and Backbone right now. There's a 24-hour live stream launch that we're doing tomorrow where we're doing a call to release the Epstein files, but we're also introducing ourselves as a network. We are trying to re-engage civil activism and civil engagement in a modern way and modern understanding. Based off the Constitution and our founding documents, understanding where we came from to know where we need to go, because we need to build a new system that's better. So what we're doing is we're elevating and we're working with the people who are in the areas who know what they're talking about to get their voices out. I want Ellie on here because she's fucking awesome. Like I came onto Substack and I was like, wow, Ellie's cool. Like I follow her and I read her stuff and I listen to her and she goes on and she's an investigative journalist. I'm not. I'm a dude who has a podcast and talks a lot and likes to be able to talk a lot and maybe has some good ideas and I like writing poetry. She actually does hard fucking work. We're going to showcase her work. She's basically getting an open mic with some guided time of like, hey, tell us everything you know about this part of the Epstein file so everybody else knows too, because it's about her work,
Right.
not mine. But we can make the space for her to be in where others will listen because some white dude is going to look at that podcast and jump in and go, oh shit, there's two other white guys on it who are talking with this lady and elevating her up. And I'm ready to listen to what they have to say. I'm maybe not ready to hear what she has to say, but because I'm listening to what they have to say, I'm going to accidentally hear it and pick it up. And like Fred said, it's a slow process of deprogramming from a cult. That's what this is. We're deprogramming people from
Right.
cult mentality. It takes time. We cannot expect an overnight shift. But when that shift happens, it is massive and it is fast. And you cannot then sit there and blame them for doing the act because then they'll go right fucking back. So we have
that's
to be
exactly
bigger
what I'm-
than them. And that's where I came in this discussion this morning, is because I'm tired of people telling me to shoot my neighbors because that's the easy fucking solution. The hard solution is to go get to know them.
Here's a salient point to all this, right?
Sorry, I'm yelling a lot. My sister-in-law tells
Yeah.
me I need to stop yelling, but I get so fucking amped up about this.
I don't consider that
So-
yelling. I'll yell.
Yeah. So here's the point to all this, right? Civil War. Let's take the historical anecdote to it, right? We fought one of the bloodiest civil wars in our country, the only one, from 1861 to 1865. At the Battle of Shiloh in 3 days, we lost more Americans than had died in every single war up to that point, and every day of every war up to that point. The half of Mississippi lost their men from freaking ages, like half of Mississippi's men from ages 16 to 30 were gone. Gone.
Mhm.
Okay.
A whole generation, basically.
Wiped out. Like 3/4 of their entire state budget at the time was for limbs and amputees. Like for, prosthetics.
Like we think
basically.
the VA is a high cost right now. Imagine how fucking expensive it would be if we had a civil war and half the country was now veterans
So-
and you had to pay for it.
I'm saying all this is like we had the
Fuck.
we had
Sorry.
we had the occupation in the South, right?
Mhm.
By federal troops. Not restoration. It was I'm trying to remember what it was called. To 1878, right? Did that end racism?
Nope.
Nope.
No, but it sure
So-
did
so-
sure kill a lot of people.
It killed a shit ton of people. And, it killed more people than we lost in World War II on our side.
Mhm.
Okay? Reconstruction, thank you. Like, we did all of this. And it
And then
still
we
took
bowed to
100 years to get the Civil Rights Act under LBJ. We had lynchings. We had Jim Crow. We still had all this racism. So if violence is the answer, then why didn't it work?
Yeah, why is violence not
Why
done?
didn't it work? If violence is the answer, why is the Middle East peaceful as fuck right now after a generational warfare? If
Yeah.
violence is the answer, how come women won't mind after literally centuries of oppression?
See, that's everything that you're saying is exactly what I was going to tie into the last thing you said, and then what Nick said too, is that that's part of the reason that well, now we talked about the what you can affect, don't overextend yourself
Mhm.
and try to reach somebody who's unreachable. But if I can still talk to somebody, even if I don't agree with them, but like they're on that side, but they can be talked to, then I'm going to, even if I'm only chipping away 1% a day, I'm still going to continue to do it because it's
Mhm.
incrementalism. I'm not expecting them to change overnight. I'm not going to name people in my life who are like that, but I've had a handful of people in my life more that people are like, why haven't you just cut them off, block chopper? And I'm like, I have hit that block button a lot. I'm not saying that it's
Mhm.
not a tool. I'm not saying it's not a tool. Reference the aforementioned, if they're beyond reach. But for everybody else, if I can make a little bit of a difference a day, then I'm going to do that. It's the same concept as in fitness. You're not trying to
Yep.
get better. You can't get from where you're at to your goal in a day, a week,
You
a
don't
month, or
look like
even
Jacob after a fucking day.
Well,
I'm not even whatever.
You don't, it's hard fucking work. But if you look
Yeah.
at what you do, dude, you work hard for what you're doing. And that's
Well,
the point.
I've been working at it since you first met me. So,
Yeah.
but the same concept is we use one of my favorite trainers who worked underneath me when I worked at Crunch. Like I was in charge of him, but he had this saying, he's like 1% better every day. And it
Mhm.
stuck with me because it's the law of compounding interest. It's that we're going to continue to get a little bit better and a little better, but we compound on that. The other thing I
Yeah.
was going to say is you were talking about your, about bringing people on and giving them the platform. And that is the other component to the lack of education for the people who want change, but it's misplaced how they apply it. Is if you don't have access to education because you're too poor or broke, because we've made it that way, not because it's your fault, but we've
Yeah, it
made
ain't
it
your
that
fault.
way to pursue continued education, then the next place they're going to turn is to their media outlets. And if they don't have balanced media outlets, the next place that they're going to turn to is social media. So it is our jobs, even though we're not MSNBC or Fox or CNN or whatever, not that those are great sources, but I'm just saying we're not pulling in billions of viewers. At the same time, that is why it is important to do what we're doing right now, because if for whatever reason this clip ends up on TikTok, or that God
Mhm.
forbid they actually subscribe to Substack and they got off the Jordan
They
B.
got off the
Peterson
dead name
channel.
platform.
Yeah, they got off the Jordan B. Peterson Substack for 2 seconds and came and dipped in here for a second, then they might actually learn one or two things that we're not certifying to be absolute truth, but at least a balanced perspective to everything else that's being shoved down their throats. So it is a form of education for the masses that is everybody's responsibility to partake in. Anyway,
Yeah.
I am the product of countless conversations and impromptu mentorships and formal mentorships of people who took the time to, when I was ignorant or I was, not full, I was trying to suss things out, who took the time to coach and teach and mentor me.
Mhm.
That's what you're training to do as a
yeah.
citizen. That's what you're trying to do. It's not about, you don't have to go out and put toxic people in your life, right? But it could be just as something as simple as saying, hey, like, brother, this ain't the way.
Yeah.
Oh
This
no,
ain't,
that's
that's it.
I mentioned
And
that I
it's
used to
doing it
lean
with
way more
respect.
conservatively,
Yeah.
and like I wasn't hardcore conservative, but I used to lean way more conservatively, and I
Same.
transitioned over time, and that's not because, and I wasn't like a hopeless leaning conservative, but like at the same time, the only way that I was able to change my worldview is that people were willing to have conversations, and like being willing to accept they may not change my mind, but just like the Steve Rogers Captain America approach, it's not about going in knowing you're going to win. It's going in knowing that you're doing the right thing and being willing to accept that somebody may not hear you, but you're trying. And
Yeah.
maybe at the end of the day, you come out with your perspective a little bit changed. I'm not going to pretend that as a hardcore blue guy that I haven't had mine changed on some points back red, but not on the points that we're scared about. Just there are some things where I've gone, I was really convinced this was right. Now, whether or not I'm sold on it, I'm at least going to ask the questions about it. I'm going to think about it. Maybe we have gone too far in this direction and we need to swing back a little bit this way.
No,
And it is a lifelong fucking process, but it can't happen if people aren't willing to have the conversation.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's certain things that I'm like, look, because my goal is to try to be a better man. It's to be and to
Mhm.
teach other men how to be better men. It's like I'm not, I'm not going to disrespect anybody. It's like, well, I'm a feminist. It's like I don't consider myself a feminist because I'm not trying to be a feminist. I'm trying to be a better man. That doesn't mean I won't create space for feminism and for women to have their say and for themselves to figure it out and to tell me, hey, this is from my perspective where I'm suffering. This is where we
Mhm.
need your help. Okay, you got it. Right. But I'm not trying to eliminate masculinity. I'm not trying to eliminate, you can't. I think that's a lose and lose game.
I
You
also think there's more masculinity in the three of us sitting here. One in
look at this.
particular,
Okay,
this
time to take my
motherfucker.
shirt off.
Wait,
All right.
yeah, he can. This guy. See, I love.
But see,
We
but
gotta
this is
have
the
him on a
point. Like
wizards
where
council. Like,
masculinity, the problem is that they want to put us in this box, man. They want to put us in this narrow box where you can't have a guy like
mhm.
Jacob, can't have a guy like me, can't have Lawrence Winterman because he's gay. You can't have this person. You can't have this trans man. It's like bullshit.
I
Bullshit.
get called in
No.
person and online one of the most masculine men that people know, which I laugh at every single time because, it's said from people who mean it well, but they'll laugh and I'll laugh and they'll be like, what? I was like, I'm wearing this fucking shirt right now. Yes, it's to stand up for other people, but it's also because I'm pansexual and gender fluid. Not everybody knows that about me, not because I hide it, but because it's just who I am, and I've never hung it up my entire identity up on that. Most of those I didn't realize about myself until my mid 30s. But
Mhm.
pansexual, gender fluid have worn gold tiny booty shorts on stage every Halloween for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like my wife drinks the beers and I drink the fruity cocktails. I'm the one that is most likely to embarrass
Right.
her versus the other way
Mhm.
around. And that's what it comes back to is in order to be masculine, just be your fucking self. There is nothing more masculine than just being you and not giving two shits about what anybody else thinks. And just like Rachel said just now, I'm not trying to use labels in like a define me kind of way. What I'm saying is for the longest time, I never even asked the questions because people be like, what are you? And I'd be like, I'm just Jacob. And they're like, but which way do you lean? I was like, well,
Eileen Jacob.
I like women, but I also think men can be really cute too. And like when I came out as bi first to my wife, she was like, I knew. And then I came out to my parents. They're like, we've known since you were 6 years old. And then yeah, but all that is to say, labels aren't meant to limit you. They're just meant to as a way to explore things. But yeah, no,
Right.
fucking masculinity should not be pigeonholed into this box. Being masculine, being feminine is just you fucking being you. Now, if you want to play into some of the gender norms, that's up to you. Like if you're sitting here
Yeah,
going,
if you are.
if I feel feminine, I want to wear a dress. That's not exclusively feminine, in my opinion. Harry Styles did it really well.
Well,
But
and to be
I
to
am
be totally
but
honest, the
but
entire
do that.
Scottish culture wears kilts. What is a kilt other than a skirt?
I killed the
Please
skirt,
tell
but
me.
like
Please tell
do
me
that
what is
because
a kilt other than a skirt that just wraps around your waist? Those men stand out there with the junk hanging out under the skirt and they go wappa 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 and they
yeah.
let their eagle jizz fly. And
And
we're over
listen,
here going, oh, this man can't be wearing a dress.
I'm
Motherfucker, I look good in a dress. You want me
I'm
in heels? I'll wear
jujitsu.
that shit. I
I'm a
can't because my
masculine.
feet will die.
Or the guys next door to me that are like, I'm a masculine jujitsu guy. No homo. I would never do anything gay. I was like, you are literally getting skin to skin and sweaty with a whole bunch of other dudes for an hour, grunting, slapping each other on the ass, and
It sounds like the
making
Marines.
it is the Marines. It's literally it's on the recruitment poster. Anyway, so
No,
This guy is
it's
their post.
I am probably.
why do
It's
you think I
funny.
hung out with the Marines? Before I realized I was bi, it was the gayest branch I could hang out with. Anyway,
Yeah.
continue.
I mean, I'll admit that. Yeah, yeah. It's like, but here's the thing. I'm probably the most I guess traditional in a lot of ways masculine guy there is. I get called a cuck. I get called a beta. I get called soy boy on a regular basis,
Mhm.
and all because these jackasses. Because I say women are people, freaking beta cuck, blah 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 blah. It's like, dude, is your masculinity that fragile? Is it that
It's really
freaking
that
fragile?
dry.
Are you that soft, bro, that you
Mhm.
can't handle women coming into their own? Like, you can't handle that. You can't handle women having freedom. You can't handle women making their own choices. It, if your masculinity is that soft, bruh, you need to figure something out, man. Like, you
Yeah.
soft like tissue paper at that point. And
Yeah.
for me, it's like, look, half the labels is no problem because as a historian, all they are is specificity. That's all it's for. It's just to say, I feel like this. This is how I describe how I feel. I'm saying this to let you know this is me, right? It's not a threat to me as a man.
No.
It's not a threat.
No, it's not a threat for somebody else to be happy.
You can go, I'm a man, and like if I ask the follow-up question, you can just be like, I'm Ron Swanson. And I'll be like, okay, I get it. Like you prefer traditionally masculine things. You like to eat steak and get heartburn and die at 65 years old. I understand it. You think you're the Captain America meme of ripping apart a log with your bare hands. Cool. There are other definitions of men, and it's also okay to not be something that fits the definition of a man. But good luck finding that, because gender is a construct and sex is biological, and you can't fucking change that. I bet that twist your panties or kilt up in a knot.
And
I literally
and
I literally had fried taters and onions with leftover sausage cooked in bacon grease.
it was a manly breakfast.
It was southern, bro.
It was good looking.
like
You sent me that
nothing better than
picture.
a
It was
trucker-
fucking good looking.
It was delicious,
I like
bro.
nothing better than a trucker special, which is scrambled eggs, spam, and potato chunks.
Oh,
mixed
it's
in.
so good.
The scrambles that they make at the fucking restaurant breakfast joints.
It's like that, but for those of us who grew up, I won't say poor because my mom will kill me for that. But for those of us who grew up with one income and 5 kids, it was a way to feed everybody in a hurry, and it tasted
money
delicious.
intolerant.
You add a little bit of Melinda's Thai sweet chili hot sauce on top of that, and you got a fucking
this is where my bro signs would come out. It's like what I'll do is I get a woman, I get it in fried taters, you know what I'm saying? We get and we thicken it up, and then I just rub that booty to get all that goodness to make that thing big, to make it bigger. You know, it's like you got to get that thing
And
big.
then you get
baby.
that perfect swap form and you pop it out.
Yeah, come on now. We want that
Come
to
on,
pop,
get us
baby.
back
Come
there.
on now.
See, that's a shelf right there.
There
You
we
can
go.
lay a tray of
I
food
popped
on
the
that
butt.
shit.
This is the scrambled egg tray, and this is what I pop at them while I'm cooking it. I just go full Terry Crews.
See, the cooking show right there. Oh, we have a new idea for a cooking show. Is Jacob's scrambled eggs?
I love it.
I love it. That refers to my testes or my brain, but either way.
Well,
Dude,
maybe a little
I'm
bit,
telling you.
but wrapping this back to what we were talking about, because this all does, like we say, I always say, it all really does wrap together in some way. We do like to go on tangents, but wrapping this all back to like the original point of what we were talking about here and how we got into the masculinity piece and all of this is not masculine to call to kill your fucking neighbors, to say, I want to shoot other people. And guess what? Every study that they have done in history and every example of governments falling and changing through revolution, when it starts out peaceful and maintains peace as long as possible and as the primary goal, 100% of the time, once 3.5% of the population are actively engaged at all times, which we're getting very close to that. Actively engaged does not just mean protesting. It means actively engaged in your communities and doing things. When 3.5% of a population is actively engaged on statistical average of 100% of the time, authoritarian regimes will fall as long as you maintain peace as long as possible, because they want violence and chaos. They want that because that creates a power vacuum that they come in and consume. And then while we're fucking fighting each other, the billionaires who are convincing us that it's okay to shoot our neighbors, because I said that to them, was, why are you listening to billionaires convince you to shoot each other when a veteran is telling you don't?
So, okay, I know you're trying to wrap up right now, but I was going to say...
No, I'm not really trying to wrap up. I was just bringing it back to the point. I'd say let's go for another 10 minutes. Let's go to half an hour after.
I was going to say, it's also the defining line between us and them, is that they start with violence, and peace is only an answer after they've gotten what they want, because it's never an answer otherwise. And we are trying to stick with peace, but have the ability to visit violence if we need to, as any good vet that I know is worth a damn is willing to do. And it's the same thing we were talking about yesterday with the whole, like, me looking like I've got a teddy bear face in my beard and whatever, and like I'm a huge goofball. But the moment you fuck with me, it's done. I give you 400 chances. and you take a 401st, not only am I going to sleep at night, I'm going to sleep better at night for it. And that's the thing is we need people who want to stick to peace the 95% of the time, but the 5% of the time that it's required, be very fucking good at it. But you should never get to that because it should only ever be what the one who wrote Starship Troopers, Heinlein, basically said was that violence and sex will always be tools of humanity, but that is just it. It should only be a tool. It should not be the tool, and it should be the last tool.
Yes, violence specifically should be the last tool. And yeah, the person who ended up getting blocked from that comment thread on somebody else's post was saying that violence should be the first option and it should never be, and that we've already gone too far because they've already killed some people. Okay, yeah, great. They killed people. We're not devolving into a fucking civil war because a couple people have died. I get it. That sounds callous, but it's fucking not.
Well,
Because
it's all
going
these
to
people.
war-
It's all they just
Going to
want to
war will kill millions of Americans.
They
And
just
we
it's
can
these
stop this without a fight, without a shot ever being fired from our side. Gavin
It-
Newsom is showing people how to do that. Other governors are using their privilege and position to show us it can be done without violence, and then we fucking remove them and we do it right. And if we follow the law, we are the people of law and order. I'm not a
Well,
party
it's-
of law
it-
and order. I'm a person of law and order. Laws are flexible at times, but order, we define the order of this society and we're pushing back.
you're always going to get these
I will
people
go.
that
I will. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, you're always going to get these people that want to like one up you, right? Like that want to do this kind of crap where it's like, and I got this where I said, I made the point of when they start arresting opposition leaders, that's when it's going to the next phase. And then there's like, they've already done that. It's like, no. I'm not talking about arresting them and then letting them go, right?
No.
I'm talking about what Hitler did with the Reichstag. And it's like they arrest Gavin Newsom and they put him on show trial and they throw him in prison. Or when they arrest AOC, when they arrest Jasmine Crockett, when they arrest Chuck Schumer, and they don't just let him go and it's not a photo op and they're putting him in Leavenworth. That's what I'm talking about. That's when it's getting really damn serious. But they've already done that. You need to wake up. It's like, you need to have all these fucking seats because you don't know what you're talking about. Because again, it's the same people.
Just like 800 National Guard troops in DC is not enough to patrol the entire fucking city.
Nope.
It's a show force. Joe Biden, Fred Wellman said this on his show the other morning after we talked to him about it. And he quoted us and shouted us out for it, was 25,000 National Guardsmen were authorized for Joe Biden's inauguration. 25,000. The average inauguration is 7,500 soldiers service members on station, like actively patrolling. 800 isn't enough. Yes, it's a fear thing and it's scary and it's for a message. He's doing it for a purpose. I totally get that. But if you're in DC, keep fucking protesting, keep being loud and keep pushing back because they can't do shit to you. If they ask for your photos and shit like that, tell them go fuck themselves.
So I want to
Don't say those words, but go, I'm an American. No.
I want to revisit something you said a minute ago because I'll give you like 15,000 talking points every time you open your mouth. And I mean that in a good way. Y'all don't take offense to that, but somebody in the comments is going to be like, what do you mean open your mouth? I was like, they'll get it. I understand.
No, we like to ram it home too.
But
for Morgan in the chat who does not understand sexual innuendo, and I'm not making fun of her for this. Morgan, don't take this. You know me. I'm not making fun of you. We'll use the sexual innuendo as much as possible sometimes just to make sure that people know what we're doing.
But no, I will.
You can't pound it home if you don't make it obvious.
You can't pound it home. You can't drive it to the hilt. You can't make it a hard topic unless you're willing to use a couple of metaphors that really beat it. But I'm so sorry, Morgan. I'm so sorry. But no,
you got to separate true from the eagle jizz.
Exactly.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
And sometimes the only language they understand is crudeness and crass. Anyway, I will.
You got to shove it down their throat, man. You got to shove it down their throat.
Yeah, they're really gonna take it. So
Sometimes it's a golden shower
The
that they
secret
enjoy
farm is
when
to
they do
relax
this
the
too.
jaw and cup the anyway. So
It's that eagle
Ah!
shower that they really want. They want that golden eagle shower, not just the eagle jizz.
No, I never owned an Isuzu Trooper. But I have owned multiple Jeeps. No. What I was
And
gonna
I'm
say
the
is
Subaru owner here. I own a couple Subarus.
I agree with your legality and order thing, but I want to flip it on its head a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Personally, I believe in order over everything else, and not order as in like stormtroopers in the streets. I mean, like, we should all be trying to pursue some type of whatever we do. It is not with the sake of sheer disruption, but for the sake of trying to maintain some type of peace, order, and structure going on. So I can go protest, but unless the cause is strong enough, I still need to be doing it civilly.
Yes.
Legality, I do not think equals morality, or vice versa, because a lot of people's morality should not be in legality, and legality does not necessarily mean it's moral. The difference is that if I break the fucking law, until that law is changed, I'm going to accept the consequences. I used to tell people all the time in the army back when I was leaning way more red, is that, hey, it is your right to do to the American flag whatever you want to, including, burning it, stepping on it, whatever. It's also my ability to walk up and curb stomp you. Now, if I do so, then I have violated. I still don't think this way. Don't get me wrong. Like, I do hold the American flag precious, as we all do, even if we have issues with the country. But I was definitely more violent about it back then. But even back then, in my violent, don't fuck with the flag headspace, I was still able to take the 2 seconds to go, now, if I curb stomp you or punch you in the course of doing that, I've broken a law, and I'll accept the consequences of breaking the law. That is the issue with, I won't say the other side, but the other extreme of the mentality is that they think that if they do something, their morality exceeds legality and they should not have to face any consequences, which is why we have a president with 34 convictions and rape accusations right now, is that anybody who's unwilling
It's
to
not
accept
rape
the
not rape accusations, legally under the term and by a judge. It was written down by a judge that said
Adjudicated.
adjudicated
He's an
rapist.
adjudicated rapist.
He's an adjudicated rapist. That's not me speaking. You can't come at me and sue me. That's truth. That's just fact. That is not slander.
Right. Yep. And as Morgan, to reply to Morgan right now, no, I'm with you on that. I don't like seeing the flag burned. I don't like seeing it stepped on. I'm not going to currently, as I am right now, walk up and punch somebody in the face for it. I'm probably going to walk up to them and verbally be like, yo, what the fuck? But that's about it. But even back then, when I was that adamant about it, I could still pull aside and go, anything I do to them or think about doing, if I do it, I've got to accept the consequences. And that's where the line is for me between the people that I can trust or talk to, even if I don't agree with them, and that I can't, is somebody who's unwilling to accept the consequences for their actions. Because that tells me that you believe in it strongly enough that even if other people perceive it as wrong, you're going to do it, but then be willing to accept the consequences that it may not have fit within the framework of a civilized society.
Yeah. And I think when I say lawfully, I mean, like you said, morally, without moral compromise on what is truly right. We understand that people have sovereignty and they deserve to exist. Like,
Right.
Part of this is I don't want to shoot my neighbors because I think they have sovereignty and they deserve to exist as people. I fought for this country, and part of fighting for this country means I fought for the right for people to say shit I don't want to hear.
Right.
Like, that's just the truth. I fought for this country and I signed that contract full well knowing that there are Nazis here in this country that are going to hate me just because of who I am. And they're showing it. Or they're going to hate my friend who's standing there next to me, who's a different color, different gender, whatever have you, just because they're different than them. It's not going to stop us from signing that contract and defending your freedom to say what you want. But if you cross the line, and this is where I learned what freedom of speech was freedom of speech had limits. It stops when your freedom of speech infringes on the rights of others to have their freedom too, which means if you're telling people, go kill, or, oh, we should get rid of, or otherize or hide or make extinct trans people, that is not freedom of speech. That is violent rhetoric meant to incite violence and hurt people.
My dad always used to say my rights and My dad always used to say, "My rights end at the tip of your nose," and that includes
Mhm.
and is up to free speech. So I didn't
Yeah.
mean to cut you off. Sorry, Fred.
I
No.
just don't want to live in I don't want to live in a society where I got to worry about my neighbors shooting at me. That's it.
Yeah, like I want to be able to walk out my door. I want my kids to be able to go outside and play. Like
And
if our
anybody that
neighbor starts
advocates
shooting
that,
you,
I'm going to vehemently oppose that shit.
yes.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Because I do not want to live in that world.
No. And if you listen, and this is how we're going to wrap this up today, because this has been an incredible hour and a half. Thank you guys for coming on and just talking with me and ranting. Is the bigger, like you look at the voices of veterans who are out there right now, who are putting themselves on the line in the same way we are, who are bigger networks or bigger creators than are right now. Fred Wellman, Chris Goldsmith, Bobby Jones, Ken Harbaugh, Melissa Corrigan, so many others. Every veteran of those 5 that I just named, every single one of them, their mantra is peaceful and patriotic in some way, is
Yeah.
peaceful and patriotic. Because guess what? That's what we are advocating for. Morgan, I'm not going to talk about the flag underwear because, we'll talk about that for a second just before we leave. I'm wearing a shirt that technically violates flag code because you're not supposed to put a print of the flag on anything other than the flag and wear it as articles of clothing.
Does it actually have a print of the flag, or is it just pieces and motifs of the flag?
So this one might not because it's not an actual print of the flag. But
Okay,
taking
so
what
you're still
Morgan is
safe,
saying is
technically.
those who wear like Speedos and stuff that have a flag, big old flag on them, like on your dick,
Yeah.
on your vagina. So sorry, on your penis, your vagina, or your anus. Those are violations of flag code because that is desecrating the flag.
They don't care.
They
That's
don't
just
care.
my
They
that's just my
don't
eagle.
care.
That's just
It's
my
all
eagle.
eagle jizz. It's all
Yeah,
eagle jizz that they're
that's
doing.
eagle jizz, you know.
So to end this on a positive note, we are going to fight back against the eagle jizz that is holding Trump's hair in place and the Epstein files underneath. And on Saturday, so come this afternoon, we're going to be back for a Wizards talk. It's going to be at least Fred Lawrence and I. We might have to figure out how to do it on Restream and get as many people in if we want to try and pull Jacob in for a 4th. We'll see. We haven't been in Restream kind of sucks to
That
get people
sucks.
on.
That
So
fucking sucks.
it's tough. I'm excited for when Substack does the 5 creators so that we can do that without Restream. But come join us in about an hour on the Wizards Council. And then tomorrow, come join us for Banner and Backbone's launch as we fucking demand the Epstein files, talk about putting ourselves out there and things that need to be talked about and confronting them. 24 hours. We're going to be splitting it up into a bunch of 4-hour segments where we're going to be pulling on a bunch of different creators. We've got Ellie Leonard. We've got Melissa Corrigan. We've got Tim Fullerton from the Find Out podcast. We have others who are coming on. I know Fred has been reaching out to plenty of people. We have people lined up to just hang out and talk with us. Lawrence is going to be there. We're going to be bullshitting. We're going to be talking about the Epstein files. We're going to be talking about where they are, why they are the way they are. We're going to be getting as many people in, and we're going to be launching a new network to support creators like us and a home for civically minded citizens to go to and to engage in and be a part of and to create off of. So come join us for Banner and Backbone this weekend. It's going to be freaking awesome. The Trump files, the Trumpathon is going to be amazing. And it's been freaking fun.
I gotta jump, man. We gotta wrap this up. I gotta jump.
I'm out. Later,
All right,
bros.
love y'all.
Love y'all. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thank you all. I'll talk to y'all later. It's been really good. Thanks for coming on for our live. Thanks for sticking with us as I ranted through this. Needed to get that off from that idiot in the chat. You find people like that, block them. Call them out. Call out the bullshit. Call out the people who are making fake stolen valor. Call out the lies. And just be civically minded. Be active in your community. What that means is just be active in your community. Build your communities up. Build your local communities up. Help each other. And like we said, violence ain't the answer. It's not the way to go. So let's stop being sick of this shit, y'all, and let's start doing this shit. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you again.